Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sunny in Phoenix podcast. I'm Charlie Erling. I have David McGraw with me. We're down at Summer League in Las Vegas. Great win for the Suns yesterday, 97-81 over the Jazz. David and I did plenty of celebrating last night after the game, so this is probably going to be a pretty brief episode. What's up, David?
Yeah, we had this great plan about, getting back, chilling for a second, and recording right away. And that just didn't happen at all.
So you guys will understand that. But let's just hop into things. Make sure to get a hold of us on social media. Our Twitter is @SunnyandPHXPod. Our email is sunnyandphxpod@gmail.com. And check us out over at our new host, the Deepish Thoughts Podcast Network, over at deepishthoughts.com.
Thanks for listening to the Sunny in Phoenix podcast. If you'd like to further support the show, you can head over to tpublic.com/user/sunnyinphx. That's teepublic.com/user/sunnyinphx. We've got t-shirts, mugs, phone cases, all kinds of stuff. You can get our famous cheese is warming up design, or just one that says Sunny in PHX. Again, tpublic.com/user/sunnyinphx. And go Suns.
All right, so let's start off with Josh Jackson. Definitely the most impressive guy on the court last night. 21 points, 15 rebounds, just doing a lot of little things and looking really good with the ball in his hands. There were numerous possessions where he got into the middle of the lane, put up a nice floater, and he was getting buckets no problem.
Yeah, he really finished in a plethora of ways yesterday. And I know you can kind of see that in highlights and all that other stuff, but just how it looked watching and seeing each time, it seemed like every single time he was doing some different sort of finish that just looked really darn good.
And those 15 rebounds, I think that's where he showed his athletic prowess, I suppose. Maybe a better athlete than most of the guys out on the court. Just skying to grab rebounds. I mean, when's the last time you saw a small forward grab 15 boards in a game? That was just really nice to see, and that's something that the Suns will definitely be able to use when we get into the regular season.
Yeah, there aren't a lot of forwards that are boxing out like that and grabbing rebounds, and he was doing it. He was one-handed rebounds, for sure, a couple of them. And I think also not only the athleticism, but some of his core strength really showed through, because he is boxing out. And while there were a couple of times where he didn't get a rebound, and Jazz just had some size and some lucky bounces here and there, but he was still boxing out, even against guys that were bigger than him. And I think that core strength really showed through as well.
Right, and despite the 15 boards by Jackson, the Suns did get out-rebounded by 12 in this game. And, it's really tough to find someone to put a body on when you are playing defense like the way we were last night. We had our guards pressuring the ball hard all night, followed by numerous switches and guys just having to rotate onto the next man. And when you're in that craziness of trying to find a guy to get on, it is tough to find a guy to put a body on once that shot goes up. So we did see a lot of rebounds fall the Jazz's way, but I guess we have to give props going with that to Shaquille Harrison, who started the game over Jones Jr. at the point, and then also Joe Jackson. Those guys were putting great pressure on the ball, making things difficult for the Jazz, and I think that's kind of what got us that victory. We won by 16, but the game was much closer than that for a lot of it. And those two dudes with their defensive pressure really helped us out.
Yeah, I mean, we ended the first quarter with a lead and then saw that lead pretty much expand and then go away. And we actually went into half at a deficit. And there were a couple points where I was like, I don't know, we're keeping up, but this could get out of hand. We're not shooting that great, but that defense was out of this world. I mean, the first quarter ended and it was only 15-13. It was a combination of defense, on our end, stopping them, causing them to not necessarily like get good looks, even if they were rebounding and then getting points that way. We were still keeping up with the defense and then just not really shooting very well from our end as well.
Right. And moving along, let's talk about Dragan Bender a little bit. This might be the most optimistic I've felt about Bender since we drafted him. He had a great game yesterday. 18 points, 5 boards, 2 assists. Really showed it all off. The 3-point stroke, it looks confident. They're falling here at Summer League. That's great to see. 5 boards. I'd like to see a 7'1" guy grab maybe a few more rebounds than that, but that's coming. And then the 2 assists, I was surprised there were only 2, but there were a few plays where Bender just really showed off that basketball IQ, fed some really nice passes, and I guess my one true gripe is the missed alley-oop attempt.
Yeah, we were both definitely bummed and let it be known when he missed that alley-oop, but you know what happens? I think one of the big things is that if there are people that are talking about Bender playing center mostly, I think this game was kind of a reason to not do that. He just doesn't have, we were talking about core strength with Jackson, he just doesn't have that right now. He's getting bounced around, getting kind of manhandled when it came to rebounding, and you know, him up against some like power forwards and some like other stretch fours where they've kind of got a similar strength to him, even though they're probably a little bit more built possibly, because you know he's still working on that. I think that can give him a better advantage there, but I don't think he's really going to be a double-digit rebound kind of guy. He's going to be more of like a, probably like 5 to 7 rebounds and probably around 5 assists possibly at like a peak Bender.
That would be beautiful to see. All right, and then let's keep it moving on. Mike James had a quiet first 3 quarters to the game, but really blew up in the fourth and was a big part of helping us seal up the victory. 18 points and 7 assists. I honestly don't know how many points he scored in the fourth. I think it was 11 or 12, but it was just great. And having a point guard like that with some athleticism who can get the ball up and down the court and finish with a dunk when he gets down there, I mean, well, you can't really ask for more in Summer League. So I'll be interested to see James with that 2-way contract, if he does end up getting minutes in the NBA at all, or at least it will be nice to follow him in the G League this year.
The DG League.
DG League.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a few gripes, but he turned it on, and yeah, I would have liked him to pass a little bit more, and I felt like he was really trying to get his at points. I mean, that's kind of a lot of Summer League. A lot of these guys fighting for roster spots are trying to get theirs. Apparently didn't silence that, but whatever. A lot of guys in Summer League are trying to get theirs, trying to show that they deserve a roster spot, and that's what's going to happen. You're not going to see like a ton of double-digit assist guys, and that's just how it is.
That's very true. And kind of on the opposite spectrum of that, Davon Reed just doing what comes natural, not trying to do too much, playing a great game. 15 points, 5 boards, hitting the threes. He's a smooth shooter. A guy that you're not worried about when he has the ball in his hands. He's gonna make the right decision more often than not. And that wingspan, like, it was very noticeable at the game yesterday. When we had Jones and Reed and Jackson in, like, everybody has such a long wingspan and are quick and are pretty decent defenders. And I just love seeing that. And I think this guy might contribute this year in the NBA.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see Davon Reed with some minutes alongside some other quality players because, man, he just didn't really force anything. I think that's the big deal with him, is that it just, every time that he was doing something, I was like, yeah, no, that's the right thing to do. That's the right play. And there's no force in not trying to jack up shots or whatever. He has his roster spot. And I think when you have that, you see guys play the game just better and more freely. In a good way freely, too.
Absolutely. And now that we did waive Barbosa, which is sad, but I think Reed will definitely fill into that bench shooting guard role with no problem.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be Knight that comes around and ends up being that 2-guard backup Book.
I mean that'd be great, but
It's not happening.
we better temper our expectations.
We bet high on that last year. We're not betting high on that again.
That's fair. That's all I'm gonna say. So you got anything else?
I forgot to talk about it on Bender's, but that second quarter that he had really just kept us in there. We really didn't have much going on. He I'm pretty sure was like laid a goose egg in the first quarter.
Yep, scoreless in the first.
Had, a couple good assists, some good moving, and moving the ball in general is what I meant to say. And, really turned it on in that second quarter, which was very nice and kept us in, gave us a good shot at not being down by more than 2 at the half, I thought. And just kind of on Bender as well, and a couple other guys, including Davon Reed, including Chris, who we really didn't talk about, but vocal. Being vocal. These guys were loud and, being vocal. They took that Big Sauce lesson from last year. Not necessarily Davon Reed. Maybe he had some inspirational quotes from Big Sauce, before some games, but these guys were vocal. They were calling out on defense. Bender was talking switches, telling people to switch, telling people that he had it. Whenever Shaquille Harrison or Mike James or I think the other one was Joe Jackson. There were a couple of times where Bender was guarding someone and they reached in and got a foul, and he's looking at him like, no, don't do that. I have this. It's fine. You shouldn't have done that. That was cool to see. And, I think that this last year, even only playing 30 minutes and stuff, was really good for Bender. And, man, if he starts being vocal on defense when he's getting minutes in the NBA and not, defaulting to someone else, that's going to be really great.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I say we wrap it up here, and we are heading to the Suns versus Grizzlies game. That's at 5. We'll either put up another short episode game recap like this, either after the game with Mitch, or possibly tomorrow morning. So be on the look for that. It'll be out soon. Thanks for listening, and go Suns.